I wanted to take a minute here just to kind of acknowledge what I've done for this winter season. I managed to change up a few things. I vamped the logo a little bit. I actually got Aaron at Active Dynamics here. He has managed to make my intro for me, so I'm very thankful for that. He did a great job. I couldn't have done it. So thanks, Aaron, for that. I appreciate it immensely. And also to Ikson for my theme music. It's beautiful, upbeat, happy tunes. I can't get enough. I am now going to his page because it's just that great. It's all good gravy stuff. So I couldn't have revamped my winter season without these dudes around me, so I'm lucky enough to have them in my corner. So thanks, guys. Ikson, great work. Aaron, thanks again. Great work. So take care, guys. Enjoy your season. And Ikson, if you ever want a reading, just hit me up, man. Just email me. I will kick in and we'll set something up. In the meantime, take care. Have fun, you guys, and enjoy the readings. If you're wanting more detailed readings, go in there. That's Infinity Readings and Reviews on Facebook. Join in. It's free, and you'll get more attention. I'm losing subscribers, and I think it's because I only do seasonals, but all the rest of my work is in there. So if you're looking for that, check that out. Okay, so that being said, this is for the Scorpio female single. I do an overview of 3 cards from the feminine deck, and then we get into the energies. I'm trying to focus on love this year, but a lot of these readings are going haywire. They're going in different directions. So I just have to really spit out what I get. But I use the cards to slowly go into the intimate side of, you know, between you and your partner, and see if we can illuminate and get rid of some blocks in that way. So here we go. I'm going to, I forgot to turn these cards over. Going to start with the first general overall energy. And the first one we get for the Scorpio female is self-esteem. So this is going to be something you're going to be working towards and working to fine-tune, I feel. Feel like we are, I mean, everybody can work on their self-esteem, but I think the Scorpio female has they're going a long way to go. They're not quite getting, I think they're being tricked into thinking I got a high self-esteem, but we're really not working on the right things. That's what I'm getting. It's like we're working on things, we're going, yeah, we have self-esteem, but when issues come out, our self-esteem is shattered. So we're really not getting to the root of where our self-esteem lies. That's what they're saying. So that is going to be part and parcel for the winter. What the energies are going to bring through for you, and what is going to be at your forefront, I feel. The next card we get for overall energies is gateways. So we're going to have a lot of opportunities opening up for you to work on this. The self-esteem thing is going to be spit at you from every direction, basically. So the opportunities will come for you to do that, whether that is your intent or not. Now the next card and the last of the general energies is individuation. Now this card is kind of, it'd be well matched with self-esteem, because we really only can tackle that. Some people can only tackle their self-esteem when they are an individual. That means not surrounded by friends and family. And I'm getting a sense here the Scorpio might be struggling with impressing other people impressing them, this kind of ego struggle. So that's where we may be lost in the self-esteem, how do you say, class, you know, is trying to, we're being tricked that our ego is our self-esteem, but it's not. So we have to look a little deeper here and look into getting to the root of that, and that's going to happen. There's going to be some form of learning here, our lessons over the winter season in our self-esteem. So individualization is part of that. So if your circles, your social circles are getting isolated, take advantage of that time, because this is what's going to, it's really going to come at you to build your self-esteem so that you can go outward in your social circles in a better way. Okay, so now we're going to get into the direct energies here. The first card we get is the Tower. So this is interesting. So that's usually calamity, right? We have a situation we're not listening to our instinct. So this is what happens. We get some huge epiphany, but may not be in a good way. And I feel for the Scorpio, it's going to be a slap in the face. It's going to be direct confrontations, if not something that really shakes them up, okay? So the Tower is trying to clear things out that they've been instinctively leading you to do, but now they have to do it in a drastic way because we are not listening to our instinct, okay? So that's the first card, and that really runs the whole show here. So it will be around this collapse of whatever happens. Now, we'll see if that's directly in the love area or not as we go down, but as I continue, we get the Six of Pentacles. So the Six of Pentacles is about equal give and take and feeling charitable outward. And I feel like this has the Scorpio female, this is what she's doing. She's going outward in maybe caring or even emotions in a romantic sense. And there's something happening here. And I bet you any money it's wrapped up in the self-esteem, right? We may be clinging to something here or giving to something here. Something that's got to go, okay? So the next card we get is the Page of Wands. Now, Page of Wands, that's the fire, right? So they are messengers. Fire is action. So you're going to get some kind of message that's going to call you to act. Now, this is also, you know, leached into the Tower, because usually the Tower, it forces you to make decisions that you haven't made in the past, right? So it seems like the Tower element here is going to come through word of mouth. You're either going to get some news that is going to call you to take action, okay? So they feel strongly that we need to take action and not just ignore, because it seems like that's I'm getting that this is the habitual way is we're getting our instinct here and we're just ignoring what's coming through. So this is the Page. He's coming in and he's gonna stir things up. Now behind him, okay, and they're going, okay, they're showing me the whole process here. So, well, I don't trust this person and what they're saying, okay? Now the next card we get is the Ace of Swords. So we have the Page of Wands with this information, and he is telling the truth. So if we are in the mode where we're ready to start the whole, yeah, this isn't, I don't believe you, or da-da-da, well, there's an Ace of Swords here saying there is truth, and not only that, there's clarity here of the information coming through to you. And it seems like all along there's a build here. It's just not one. And you may have got previous information from this person before. That was, they're going, it may not have been incorrect, but we have billed it as such. We've billed it as incorrect. So then, therefore, we weren't listening. So we disregarded. We did not want to, and this is denial, right? So this is the information coming down the line. Sounds like kind of a crash and burn here. Now, the next row, Four of Cups. So Four of Cups is about being disinterested, bored. You know, things aren't quite right here. Now, this is directly under the Tower. And I feel like it also causes stubbornness, okay? Because right here, the Towers come down, and I get a sense like a kid going, I don't want to play with them. They're not, you know, playing whatever. They're just a stubbornness to not want to go. Now, the Tower is the collapse. The universe is put upon you to open you up, wake you up, open your eyes, okay? And there's a reluctance, even after the Tower has fallen, to take this in. So this is what's happening for the Scorpio female. And then next we get the Five of Swords. So that's struggles and defeat at the expense of someone else, okay? So we're in a game here of egos, I feel. For the Yeah, the Scorpio is really confused, I feel. Not understanding the enemies are actually friends trying to help her out, and she's just not taking it in. She's cutting off the people that are giving her information because she feels they're the ones that are running her bad, and they're not. So this is kind of the thing that's going on. We've got a situation here. Someone comes forward with news that is really harsh to hear, and it's really information that sends you in a direction where you have to take action. Okay, let's play a scenario here. Someone comes and says, you know, your boyfriend's cheating on you. I seen him with such and such. Now, you look at them and go, oh, that's a lie. I don't believe that, right? So then you sit in your stubbornness and you say, now this whole situation came to be. This whole thing played out universally so that we could wake this one up and get her out of the situation that she's in. So now, instead of thanking her friend and taking some time to deal with this, she's cutting her friend off, leaving the situation, and now being loyal to the wrong side of things, okay? So we're being loyal to the person that is really hurting us. So the next card we get again is the Ace of Swords. So really needing to deal with the truth of the situation here is just flooding everything. Okay, and they're telling me the self-esteem is why we have no self-esteem, so therefore we can't leave this situation, even though deep down we know this is what's going on. We don't want to face it. So a real stubbornness to face the truth. And then the Nine of Wands is that feeling. I've put a lot of work in here. I've built up a lot of time and effort, starting to wonder if this is worth it. Right? The Nine of Wands is we've done a lot of work here, but I don't know if things are, you know, going forward. So we have the air and the essence of all of this stuff coming down, but we're not willing to really embrace it, right? We're just kind of skimming it over. Seems like as time goes on here, we're going to start to let it sink in, but not on all levels. Okay? Now, as we get into the Lenormand, which separates the base energies into the intimate areas, the first card we get is 28, the focused man. Now, here's the deal. This man, you know, look at him. He's stern. He's focused on something. Now, this may be the man that you're with, and this is the stubborn action. Okay, so it's directly related to this man that's focused on something. Now, here's a scenario I'm getting. Could be a man that's focused on getting the physical, but is unwilling to give anything else. And the Scorpio female may be the doormat that he's rubbing his feet off on, okay? So this is what is going, or the possibility of what's going on here that we need to let go. There's a better direction for you, especially for your self-esteem, they're saying, if we let this go, but we have no foundation to stand on if we let it go, and this is why we're not letting it go. Now, the next card under the Five of Swords, the disagreements here and cutting things away that are not, like sacrificing people in your life who are actually truly there for you. We get the 13, which is, you know, we have a child here, and they're making me think of that, because the child here is also about naivety and innocence and kind of wanting to stay in that childlike state where everybody's happy and warm and fuzzy. So we have sacrificed a friendship here, and we're being awfully naive with a man coming into our life or in our life, or, you know, there's a man here that prominence highly having to do with being naive. Okay, now as we move forward here, we get the Scythe under the second Ace of Swords. So the second pillar of truth that we need to open our eyes to. If we don't watch, we're going to get stabbed. I think we've been stabbed. Scorpio female takes a lot more crap. Therefore, her, expectations are extremely low, and these are not hard to meet. And in fact, they're not deserved. So this is what's going on. Now, the Scythe is here to say There's going to be arguments. There's going to be confrontations, and there's also they're going. We need a call of action here. Something needs to be cut away, and we're cutting away the wrong things. This is what's going on. Okay. Now, under the second Ace of Swords and the Knight of Wands, the feeling of is it worth it? Right. We get the 11, the Birch and the Broom. Now that's about quarreling. I'm saying quarreling, but that's even too light. Like arguments, frustrations, anger, issues, tempers flaring. This is what is happening. So there seems to be a situation. I'm almost getting it's between the lover and friends as well. And it's all kind of mixed into one because the friends are tattling on the lover. And the problem is that we're taking the lover's side, and that's the wrong side to be taken. Because this person does not have our best interest. In fact, they're using us, and we know this, but we're not wanting to see it. We want to think that they love, and we have this childlike curiosity and childlike dream time that we want this whole life to fit around, and it's just not that way. So we really have to open our eyes and wake up. This is not it. This is not the direction we want to be settling into here. So as we move into the love direction, we get the Three of Wands. Now, the Three of Wands, and again, I do not read traditionally, so you may get one meaning of this card out of one reading and a completely different meaning out of another reading, and it's the same card. Now, this card, usually I apply it to mean engagements or getting engaged, but in this card, they're going, it's not so much about the engagement, but how this woman is feeling. She's feeling like she's got attention lavished on her. She's feeling like everybody, she's the center of attention, and it's coming from this man. And he is not trying very hard. In fact, he is not trying at all. If he's in the room, she feels like she's special, and this, we want her to bring up her expectations because this is not correct. Now, that is that. Now, the next card I get on top of the childlike innocence and naivety is the Eight of Swords in the romance deck. And the Eight of Swords in the romance deck is about, we have a sarcophagus here. So that's about death. And there's a heavy energy attached to it, okay? So it's interesting. We have someone in the height of, peak of their joy. And then right next to it, we have the most somber card in the whole romance deck. So what's going on? On top of this scythe, we have 8, strength. So here it is, and I feel like this card is the epitome of the universe going, you got to get away from there. The universe trying to pull you away, but she will not be moved. She will not be moved. She is enjoying this on some level. Like basically what they're saying is we just have our expectations way too low, and we need to start putting up boundaries, and there's no self-esteem. So this is why we're not doing this. Okay. So the next card, we go the Beach and the Broom. On top of that, we get the Six of Wands, which is positive movement forward. Okay. Now, it's right next to the Strength card. So I have to look at this. Yeah, okay. So what they're saying here is that we have a woman here that does not want to be moved, but we're going to move away from this situation and move gently forward here. It's really heavy, hard, and harsh for the Scorpio female to do this. They're in a situation where I feel like to the male, this is just a hobby, okay? This is, he's dipping into this until he finds something better. This'll do. This'll do for now because I get what I want. And if it's intimacy, then it's intimacy, right? And that's all he's looking for. He's really not invested emotionally in this. He is just there. They're showing me like someone that literally comes over so he can eat, sleep, and then he leaves to go to work, comes back to be waited on. Hand and foot, they're going. This is what. And it's almost like he lives in a different, he doesn't live with you. He lives somewhere else, but he spends his time at your place while you dote on him. And then he leaves when he is full and taken care of. And he really doesn't contribute to the attention that he's getting. Meaning, this is totally off balance. He has not put any effort into this. It's all been on the Scorpio female side. So, that's not good. So as we move into the intimacy here, the first card we get is the 3, and it's interesting. We have 2 3s. So let's talk about that. So the 3 of Wands is that feeling that she gets, well, there's a man here and I don't care. I've got something to do. I've got something to focus on, not realizing that there has to be a give and take in order to have a complete relationship, and it's not happening. Now, when we get into the intimacy side, we have the 3 of Cups. Now, that's indulging in all levels, okay? So what's going on here is that's what the female is getting. Scorpio female is getting the physical satisfaction, and that for her just floods everything, and then she doesn't have to think about boundaries. She doesn't have to think about nothing because she's only got one priority, and it's being met, and that's it. So that's what's going on here. Now, when we have 2 3s, that we have to keep in mind that you may not be the only priority here. In fact, it's pretty high that you are not. Okay? So know that. And that may just be the fact that we need to understand that energy. Okay? So if this man has anything on his agenda, and I'm not talking just a third party, I'm talking anything. Work, his mother calls and she anything. These are things that are priorities, and not only that, his buddy says he wants to go, you know, to a show, whatever, concert. He's going to drop everything. The first thing he's going to drop is you, and then he's going to run. So this is really kind of the viewpoint that they need you to see, is that this man, you are not a priority, and he may, you know, kind of swindle that a little bit, but they're going, he didn't even try that hard. They're going, he didn't even try. He doesn't lie. He doesn't, he's just being, and that is enough for her, but it is really not enough to sustain anything. This man needs to learn how to be in a relationship where he has to work to get what he wants. Now he's getting what he wants, but he don't have to work for it. That is not fair in our books. That's what they're saying. So the next card on the heavy sarcophagus here, the heavy heart and depression and sadness and grief really is what 8 is about, grief. So, I mean, that's in all areas here, right? And I feel like that's deep down, you realize there is a grief here because you see there's no longevity. But you're just trying to do things so that it doesn't go away. Why? Because you don't want to be alone. Why? Because you haven't dealt with yourself yet, okay? So the sarcophagus on top of that, we have another 8. That's infinite. You know, when I have 2 8s, I'm talking about infinite. Infinity goes on forever, okay? What does that mean? Is that a loop? Technically, in the universal scheme of things, it's a loop that doesn't end, okay? So when we're talking about, you know, what's the word? Issues and lessons, we are looping, okay? So when we have 2 8s, we're looping. Means we're not learning from one relationship to the next. So the Scorpio female single has not learned anything in the relationship she's been. Why? Because she's not taking tally, not sitting with herself to figure things out. Now, the sex card we get is the 8 of Pentacles, and that is interesting because, yeah, that's interesting because we have a man offering the woman a rose, and they're going, oh no, this is the man that is getting disinterested. He is going to start to move on. This is coming to a head here. Not only universally are we saying this has got to go, but the man is getting bored. He has no respect for the woman. This is obvious, they're going. And the woman has no respect for herself, so there's nothing to hold this together. There's nothing to bind it. That's what they said. There's nothing to bind this. So it is slowly disintegrating no matter. Now, on top of the 8, the Strength card from the Romance, we get the King of Cups. Okay. And they're making me look at the literal picture here. We have a king that has a cup. And you know what? It's full. And what that means is this man knows how to treat a woman. He chooses not to treat this one with the proper dignity, respect that she deserves, and caring. They're going, there's really no caring here. We don't care. That is the problem. We need someone for the Scorpio female to care. This man does not care. She has whipped up a world in her mind that is way better than reality, and every once in a while she gets a dose of reality and goes back to her dream time, and that is her whole film strip, is wrapped up in 75% dream time and 25% reality. And the 25% reality that she hangs on is the intimacy, and then she cuts it off because she knows if she looks at the full film here, we got to do some editing. But she don't want to deal with that, okay? So the last card, we get the moving away to a new, calmer water. On top of that, we get the 8 of Wands, and they're going, and that's where we get the attention paid, where we really have no concept of, okay? This man knows he has all the tools. The King of Cups is emotionally sound. He chooses not to use it on you. Why? Because there's no worth, no care for this one. I am just biding my time and getting what I want until something better comes along. And it doesn't have to be the best. It doesn't have to be marriage. It doesn't have to be the one. It just has to be something better. I'm on a dry spot, and this is my lean-to. I hate to say it, but this is what the energy I'm getting, man. You get out of there. You need to get out of there. It's just not healthy. The thing is, it's going okay. There's no, mishaps. I feel like there's starting to be over the winter here. We're going to get into some rough water because we're realizing on a soul level, a long time ago, they're going, this is not doing us any good. It's not healthy. It's not making us grow. We're not looking at the right things. So we're highly in denial about all of the things here that are not making us happy. We need to look at that. Because on the other side of that, once we start to walk away, the 8 of Wands is just waiting there to feed you all that you fed this man and give it back. So we need to go in that direction because your karma is super imbalanced, meaning you have given. It's time for you to take, but you're going, no, I'm still going to keep giving, even though I'm getting smacked in the face. So basically, it seems like October, November, there's something coming down, and we're going to have to really make adjustments, okay? So I go horizontally now. I'm going to go vertically with it and see what else comes out. Now we start with the Tower right in the upper corner. And then we come down with the 4 of Cups. Now that's the boredom. And again, what was leaching out of this was the fact that there's a stubbornness to want to listen to this moment that's come down to a slap in the face. We don't want to listen. We want to just stay on the track we're on. But we're not being respected and we're not gaining ground here, so we need to leave it. And then the next card we get on top of that is that man, 28. The man, he's focused on her, and like there's no loyalty. There's no, again, I don't feel like this man is cheating, but he would drop you in a New York minute given the chance. And we just, maybe the chance is coming here, and that's why the arguments, okay? But the thing is here, there is something going on because he's being told on, and it's got to end the relationship. It's one of those deal breakers. So we got to make adjustments, okay? We don't want to be the person staying while they're going out, and we know they're got that. It just there's no production there. What's going on? You know, why is that something we settle for? It's not. So the 3 of Wands here under the man is the way that we perceive ourselves. This man makes us feel that way. When in actuality, this is nowhere near where anyone should feel. And if we had the right self-esteem, this would be insulting. This would insult our character, right? But we're not looking with those self-esteem eyes. We're looking out of desperation, and that's okay. Whatever you want, I'll accommodate. And this is doormat material, so we got to get out of that. We got to throw that away, okay? So 3 of Wands on top of that in the sex side, 3 of Cups. So this is where it's at. This is the focus for both partners. It's the sex. That's it. That's all. And there is absolutely nothing more. On your end, you're giving way more than you're getting, because you're getting like this. Zip. Nothing. That's what you're getting. The sex does not count if it does not come from the heart. So, and this man has no heart. He has a heart. He chooses not to use it in your direction. That's okay. Now, the next slide, 6 of Pentacles. The give and take, equal, unequal. It is very unequal. They've said that many times. It's unequal and it's unbalanced. We're not seeing it as such. We're seeing it actually the opposite way. Like we have to give and give and give to make up, and this guy's not working to make anything up. So why are we continuing to break ourselves? No, this is not right. So under that, we get the 5 of Swords. So 5 of Swords being about that argument and about getting rid of the wrong things. We're cutting out things in our life, and it's not in the directions that we need to cut things out in. So as we move on, we have the 13, which is the naivety overall, they're saying for this one. The dream time, the making up of dreams and things the way we want it, and that's what we're thinking about, not the reality. We are really not dealing with the reality until we get in the bedroom, and then as soon as we shut the door, we go back to the dream time, because that man's out the door. And then the next card we get is the 8 of Swords on the romance, which is the sarcophagus, which is that heavy depressive state. And I feel like that's coming from the pit of her stomach. Like there's something missing. Deep down, even though she's living in her dream world and that's making her happy, kind of skip around, she's realizing that it's not there. You know, she's starting to see, you know, the lines here. But even though people are coming at her, she still wants to stand up for the man rather than standing up for the truth, right? And then we end on the 8 of Pentacles, which is really about the male kind of being disinterested. He's ready to throw this one away. So he's ready to really move forward here because he's seeing the lack of respect she has. Therefore, I mean, it's true, how you say, it's clearly not coming from him. There's no respect. So what, you know, like it's kind of making a bad taste in his mouth. And I don't feel it's because of conscience. I feel it's just because of boredom, you know, not being fulfilled. It's getting old to him, okay? Now, Page of Wands is about that communication, and that brings you to action. There's something going to be communicated, a message going to come across, going to bring you to act. And that's the whole situation coming down, the tower, whatever. If it's a friend that comes at you and says, look, I seen him with this, da, da, da. Or a family or whoever. Someone comes to you and basically spills the beans and gives you that opportunity to get away with your dignity. Okay? And we're not wanting to take it. So, and then the Ace of Swords pops up again, and there's nothing but truth surrounding you, even though you see it as an illusion. So we are seeing here that there's a lot going on, truth-wise, in our reality, but we are not dealing with that. The next card is the 10, the Sky. So that's the thing. We are cutting the truth out, and we're dealing with our dreams because that feels better, makes us happy. And this is the whole loop that we're spinning in. We got to get out of that. That is not the way to work. Now, the next card we get is the 8, the Strength, so we're not being moved, right? We're cutting the wrong things out. We're not going to move on that, and that's just the way we're going. Then we end up on the King of Cups, and they're going, this is the emotional center we want you to come from. We want you to be able to choose from a higher standpoint the people and the relationships that you're looking at, we want you to see them properly. We are in the midst here, again, like talking about the threshold she has. If someone is treated like crap all their life, they just continue to do that. They do not have any example of being treated with grace, dignity, and truth. They do not know they are missing it. And this is where the Scorpio female sits. She has no clue what a good thing is. Therefore, she will stay with what is in her vibration. She will never move. So as we move on here, the Ace of Swords, that's that truth again that comes forward. And the truth that's surrounding her in all areas. Meaning, open your eyes and look at what's going on. It's there. Then we have the Nine of Wands. So now the Nine of Wands is about really taking a tally, I feel, in this situation. Kind of letting things sink in. Letting all of these things sink in to a degree. What is going on here? Like, we got to open our eyes. So, Ace of Swords. The truth is there. Surrounding her. And it's coming at her from all directions. Truth. Now, we have the Nine of Wands. That's that I've put a lot of work and effort, and I'm tired, and I don't know if this is worth it. And kind of like the giving up, but also that tired, tedious feel, right? That's the thing. It's like, I don't know what to do. Da, da, da. So this is where she's going to end up, okay? And then we have the 11, the birch broom, which is the anger, okay? So it's going to get her to a point where she funnels into the right answer here, but it's going to make her mad. She's going to be kicking and screaming at this one. This one's not going to feel good. She has to make a decision she doesn't want to make, but yet it's for her highest good, and this is what the problem is. Universe is going, what? It's better on the other side. We need to make this decision so we can chop and run. This is not going to lead us down any great road. We need to wake up here. So on top of that, we get the Six of Wands, which is, you know, highlighting the fact we are going to go in a different direction. We are going to take off here and make the decision and also leave. So this is good. Because it says to me, we're not going to go back and forth here. We may have had that already. We may have had a lot of that experience back and forth. Now we're going in a different direction. We're just going to head out there. And you end on the Eight of Wands, which is here we go. This is the reward. Now, we needed just a little bit of a stretch so that we could see the other side of things. And that's going to be that better example. That higher example for love and appreciation, and this is what's going to come in. But it cannot come in until that last one's taken out of the mix. So we end on a good note. Thank you for that, because we needed that. This is pretty heavy, pretty heavily in denial. The Scorpio female is single. We got a situation here. We're focused on something. The tower's coming down. Clear it out. We don't want to clear it out. We don't want to listen to anybody. We want to kick and scream and go back. And it's just not going to be possible. You know, for some they may, you know, fight, but eventually they will get it. It's just going to take a longer period of time to get what is truly deserving of this woman, because she's going out and attending to someone that just doesn't care enough about her. There's wasted energy here, and they're going, that's not even, you can't have that. Now, to review here, we started out with self-esteem, and they're going, this is the whole issue. This is the root ball. We need to attack our self-esteem in order to feel good enough to not take this behavior. Now, our viewpoint is distorted because we have no barometer for this. We do not know what good behavior is. So we need to be shown that, and that is sitting in front of her as soon as she lets go of this one. Now, that's the self-esteem. So it's the self-esteem is stopping. Well, it's not the self-esteem. It's the lack of self-esteem that is stopping her from continuing forward. We do not have enough esteem to feel that we deserve da-da-da. So this whole process has to be started and unfolded for her. She really has to look at what she deserves and with different eyes. And that the only way she'll do that is to grow from the inside. And that's what the universe is going to give her, those opportunities. Then we come with the gateways. That's the opportunities for you to grow. Not in a, like in a romantical kind of way, but outside, maybe through friendship circles, that kind of thing. There will be opportunities in every direction for your self-esteem to grow. And they're going even in a work area. And in fact, that's probably where we're going to go more, is in that work area, because that fluffs quite a bit. So look for it there. You know, the work area, we got to have a sense of self-worth here that is higher than what we're shooting for, because it's really, it's not right. And then we end with the overall energy again of individuation. And that's that whole thing, is we really do have to be alone for a while to figure this out. And for this one, we get a stubborn one here, so we're really going to try and isolate her. And we hope that she takes advantage of that, because if she does, it's all roses on the other side, like she's never seen. Colors so vibrant. That's what they're going, you know, and that's a metaphor for what we can get, the emotions, all these things that can come at us that we have no idea we could have had. Okay, so that's really, the universe wants you to just step out of this relationship so they can show you what a good relationship is. Because if we were to look in the, like, if the Scorpio female's looking in the direction, we're going to get tripped up because we don't know the parameters. You're dealing with a vibrational space this big. The universe is dealing with a vibrational space that is infinite, right? So this is the thing. We can pick better for you than you can pick. But we want you to learn how to learn what this is, right? We want to give you an opportunity to figure out what this is. So that's what's going on. The universe is going to do that over the winter. So that's a good thing. It's going to start with a crash and burn. And this may already, by the time I get the video out, may be already in the air. May have already been through the hard stuff. So it's all really processing and starting to rebuild yourself before we go back out looking for something to replace, because it's just not going to be there. They're going, we will not let this happen anymore. I lose one and go straight to, they're going, no, we cannot have this. We are going to be alone and isolated for a while. Not completely, but our social circles are really going to stop spinning so fast. And we're going to really isolate this one, and that's what we're working on. So if you work with me, that's what they're saying this. If you work with us, this will get done quicker, faster, and at a greater pace, right? So that's what they're saying. If you kick and scream, then plan on being alone for quite some time until you figure out how to see straight. It's kind of like a kid being chastised, right? But in a sense, they don't chastise. They really are trying to get you to where you need to be, and this is not it. So that was the reading for the Scorpio female. Single. I am buzzing here. So hopefully that helps you see things, prioritize things, even if it's just to realize that that is the truth and take that with you. We have to understand here the difference. We got a confusion of ego. Straight up, ego is not your instinct. Ego is ego, and that's what's getting you down the wrong way. We got to flip that over and learn what our instinct is. Our instinct is that little voice. And if you got any type of ego whatsoever, it totally overrides that. Totally overrides that. So you go in there and you get underneath the ego, there's your instinct. So this is what's confused in the Scorpio female, is the instinct is not your ego, right? We need a healthy ego, but it is not self-esteem either. And that's the problem here. We gotta really rearrange the whole priority complex here. We got self-esteem that we are thinking is ego, and we got intuition that we think is ego, and those are two separate entities. We need to separate those, but they're all in one clump. So we got to get rid of that. We got to separate that first of all. Self-esteem, no, because we're getting ego-fied. and we're going, yeah, that, but when we're on by ourselves, that just diminishes. There's no build here. When you build self-esteem, you can take an ego hit, but it doesn't drive the bus, right? It doesn't take you. It doesn't. Ego runs on fumes, and at any minute you could just drop, and then you're stranded. Self-esteem is a full tank. We're always full, because we'll never ever put up with a situation where we'll let anybody take our gas out of our tank. I just run around full. You know what I mean? It's hard to explain, but I hope that got through to somebody, because there really just is kind of the warped view. And if you keep running there thinking my ego is you're banging your head, and this is why things are so frustrating. So hopefully that clears things up. Man, this is some reading. These are all heavier than I wanted them to be, because they're like, oh, the energies are settling, but there's a lot of resistance here, and this is one direction. We got resistance. So there's a little bit of aggression from the universe coming out. Okay, we gotta pull up our sleeves here and put a little extra effort into this one. Not seeing straight. So hopefully you start seeing straight and things work itself out. I'm saying itself, but what I mean is you work yourself out. You get in there, you deal with your self-esteem, because this is where we're wanting to build. And then once we get our self-esteem, man, we're going to look at things differently. And slowly, you know what? They're going, you'll know you're making progress when the social circles start coming back in. Because they're going, we are isolating and we are clearing the slate. And until you start making progress in the right direction, we are not letting any social stuff come back in. So that is your key to know the universe is saying we're making progress here. So we have to be attentive to what we're looking at. So hopefully that helps you. Scorpio female single for the winter. And this is the northern, we're in the North America here. October, November, December, January, February. This is a really long span of time. So this is a huge thing. And again, infinity readings and reviews on Facebook. That's where you'll get me during the week. I send out readings and kind of expand on all that energy. But I don't feel the need to give daily, weekly, monthly readings on Facebook or on YouTube, because it just is repetitive, and sometimes people are not making progress. Therefore, they don't want to hear every week that they're not making progress, right? It becomes monotonous. So you can tune in or not on infinity readings and reviews, and then we can deal with things there. And then you can tune out as well, you know, but you have access to that information at that point. So yeah, feel free to join in there. So take care, have fun, and be kind. I think we're being overly kind here, but we really have to start working on our self-esteem. So take care. Have a great winter.